Hi everybody, Heather Coleman here, heatherlcoleman.com, psychic medium, tarot card reader, Reiki practitioner, yoga teacher, student of Ayurveda. We've got a five card tarot reading. This is take two. It's interesting because I filmed the first video outside and the sound of the insects was so loud it interfered. I've never had that happen, but we're doing this a second time. The deck that we're using is the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Klingler, illustrated by Sandra Taylor. And what the first thing off the bat that I want to say is that this is going to concern not traditional tarot, but this isn't just cards that are based on traditional tarot. This is specifically looking at your charted path. So we're looking at the script you wrote. Yes, so a lot of my work here comes up in terms of this premise that all of us, when we are in the spirit realm as a soul or Atman, as we say in yoga, we have written a script for ourselves. We've written a chart that we're going to fulfill. There's free will, but it's like a video game. You know what world you're going to enter. You know what challenges you're going to enter. So keeping all of that in mind, we might say that's the lens that we're looking at these messages through. Now, we have this first card, and it's actually in a reversed position, probably because we're going into fall here. We have autumn on top, but the card is the Four of Forces, or spring, autumn, is what it says here. Now, in traditional tarot, the Four of Wands, or fire, is often a card of balance and celebration. So, take that if it resonates. That's a great message. Now, I want you to notice, how do you find yourself changing as the seasons change? I often notice that I want to sleep more as the days get longer. I have more of an appetite now that the weather's starting to get a little bit colder. It's almost like we're starting to incubate, right? Or prepare for hibernation. But Spirit is really encouraging you to notice physical changes. What do you find yourself craving to do? Most of you, I feel, are trying to be more connected with nature. I know I've been trying to spend more time outside, and I am so much more synced up with everything rather than resisting those forces around me. So find ways to be more connected with nature and notice the way that you will change. You'll be more connected to the wisdom of your body, your connection to Mother Earth. Like me, I notice that I'm wanting to sleep a bit more, and I'm wanting to put more focus on my home, on sort of clearing out my home for this next season. Some experts recommend a fall cleaning, so if you've been thinking about that, act on those ideas. Because see, when you make space in your living environment, you are making space in your life. Now, we had this 8-8 portal, which seems like it's brought challenges for a lot of people. It has for me. The last 2 or 3 weeks have been very challenging. And many people that I've interacted with, I've been hearing the same. The 8-8 portal, some of you may have noticed that we had the 8 of Swords come up a couple of times, which is a card that tends to make us feel powerless and trapped. Now, for so many of us, we had some patterns come up that we haven't seen in a long time in our lives, kind of like the ending of a cycle. It's sort of like this last bit, let's test, give ourselves a test to make sure we've learned those lessons. So, be in the experience, and when you get some time, sit with this question. How have I leveled up in my response to these challenges that happened during the 8-8 portal? Because many of you had a cycle or theme of challenges over the last 8 and or 16 years. Now, this last few weeks of challenges tied up those themes. How did you respond differently? Because you did. You have leveled up. It's sort of this last challenge, this final exam to say, how am I responding? So I like how that kind of leads to the King of Forces, because so often when we get a king, I shall hold it on this side, or a queen in tarot, it's a call for us to take the lead in some way in our own lives, stepping into leadership energy, whether you're a man or a woman. You could take this as a king or a queen. When we're in the energy of a king, we're often talking about some of the more masculine traits such as calm, logic, discipline. So where do you find yourself embodying more of these traits as you level up? Notice the animals that are coming into your experience, whether that's maybe you're spending a lot of time with your domestic pets, like a cat or a dog. Maybe you're seeing animals that you don't see all the time. Like on this card, we've got, I think that might be an elk, perhaps, or a moose, and a wolf. Maybe you're seeing more wild animals on, say, television or in just images, or you're hearing someone talk about these animals. Notice the animals that are coming up for you because they're bringing wisdom. So if you see an animal somewhere, whether an actual animal or an image of an animal, consider that a sign. Consider doing a quick search on the spiritual meaning of that animal and see how you can more strongly embody the qualities of that animal. And that's the King of Forces. Now, we just had two cards in that king, I should say, in that four, where we were in the suit of energy. And so often in tarot, we talk about as above, so below. So when we're in that suit of forces or wands, we're talking about your energy on the inside as well as what's on the outside, how you're co-creating. We also talk a lot about how the energy on the inside is what's brewing what will become manifest on the outside. So who better to help us with that than Archangel Gabriel or Gabrielle? This is the Archangel of communication and presentation. Now, the reason this is so important, this is the Archangel that helps us with how are we coming across to people? How do our words land? How is our body language? But what if I told you that the biggest thing people respond to is even bigger than your words and your body language and your actions? It is your energy, it's your frequency, it's your vibration. So you're already aware of this. You're already doing so much work around this. Keep setting the intentions to have the best possible frequency. Now, and remembering all the things that help us to have a higher vibration and therefore a better attraction point. Self-care, exercise, enough rest, proper nutrition, finding joy in your life, meaningful connections, being self-aware, self-improvement. All of those things are really going to help us to vibrate at a higher frequency and therefore raise that attraction point. A lot of us had a really difficult few weeks to end August. It's kind of like that last challenge. That 9-9 portal that's coming up is going to bring in, I think, a lot more of the kind of fast energy things that we want coming into our lives. And again, Archangel Gabriel or Gabriel helps us to become a better leader, a better parent, a better manager, a better communicator. So the other message, the final message, I should say, with this card is to be aware and work to become more aware of how you are communicating. If you're going to write something, take a pause, take a moment to say, am I communicating in the best way possible? If you're having a conversation with someone, be fully present and think, is this the way that I want to say this? Am I listening fully? Am I really hearing everything this person has to say? So let's set this card aside. Now we're going into the suit of keys. In this deck, that's equivalent to earth or the practical. So we're talking about our money, our finances, our car, our home, our clothing, our physical body. And I think the messages are particularly interesting with the two cards we have. We've got the One of Keys. And we just had some messages that talk a lot about this awareness of kind of like as above, so below. What's below on the inside, our energy deep down, is what's brewing to manifest what's become apparent on the outside, kind of like the Star card. Now the Star card often has like this reflection, right? So you've got the underneath and the above here. What are you building as the architect of your life? Now, keep in mind that architects have a specific set of tools. We're in the Akashic Tarot. We're talking about life chart. You may very well be dealing with a really challenging set of circumstances, such as your family of origin, some of the circumstances that you just could not control. So give yourself credit if you are building a life with a really challenging set of tools and conditions. And don't lose sight of the prize, of your vision for yourself. What do you want in your life next month, next year, next decade? Do you want to change your body? Your body is a canvas. What are you painting on that canvas? How are you developing? What are you putting in your body? So Spirit is calling us to really pay attention to what we're building within our body. How are we taking care of our temple, our physical body? What are you building in your life? What are you envisioning? What are you making manifest? So let's put this card aside. And this next card is so interesting. Now, the Three of Earth in traditional tarot is so often a card about skilled work, being very good, maybe the best at what you do, and getting recognized for that. People seeing great value in what you contribute. That could be about paid work. That could be about unpaid work. Now, what's really fascinating with this particular deck, we have this chessboard, and to me, what's so interesting, personally, this is just my own, this is the cover art, and it's beautiful, but this is like the card that gives me the deepest understanding of this whole deck. I would have made this the cover art because when we look at this chess, who you chose to be in the chess game is going to say a lot about what's going on around you. It's not exactly who you are exactly and what your circumstances are, but how you're dealing with them. What kind of a knight are you? What kind of a rook are you? What kind of a queen have you been? So think about that when you reflect on your life. I really feel that this first week of September here is a time of reflection. Also, there are major shifts happening both in the world at large over the next 6 months and 6 years and in our own lives. And I feel like this message is going to reach a good number of you. Many of you will resonate when I say you see this fallen player. Someone in your life fell out of power. Could have been recent, could have been a while back, could have been years ago. And that is clearing the way for you to step into your personal power. Now, when I say someone, it could be a family member. It could be perhaps a former spouse. It could be more of a group or an institution that somehow held you back. But what I find so fascinating about this is it does talk about something or someone falling out of power, and you are ready to step into greater empowerment. This can also sometimes, if the card was reversed, be a call to step away from just energetically charged situations where no one can see eye to eye, like maybe a bunch of political back and forth, that kind of thing. However, I really feel more of you are going to resonate with the upright meaning that something or someone, and it could be more than one something or someone, has fallen away and you are ready to shine, to step up. You might be doubting this. Again, so many of us are coming out of the energy with this 8-8 portal of the Eight of Swords in tarot, which is feeling trapped, feeling as if there's nothing we can do. But again, Spirit is bringing my attention once again to the fact that we've all had, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, situations arise that kind of tie up the last 8 and or 16 years of life lessons with a bow. It's like one last hurrah. And if you're anything like me, you might be overthinking a bit too much about how you're handling these situations. Rather, the thing to do is just to say, I got through it and I experienced it, because that is how our soul is learning the lesson. But just know with that Eight of Swords energy that we're stepping out of now, that if these lessons made you feel somewhat powerless, when people with a certain sort of power fall, it's scary, and they're going to try to hold on to that power, a people or an institution. It's usually a person or institution. And you're going to feel that ripple, that feeling of powerless, that someone or something losing power. You might feel it like it's your own, but that's actually not the case, because you are stepping into a place of empowerment. You're ready for this. Spirit is saying that you were born ready for this. You are leveling up and you are behind the wheel. So that's the message that I have for you today, the messages I have for you today. I hope it resonates. And if you're seeing this video before September 12th, 2025, I hope you'll consider joining my online message circle. It's happening 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern this coming Friday, September 12th, 2025, through Zoom. So you buy a ticket through my website, I send you the Zoom link, and we're going to have an amazing time. Guided meditation, personalized reading for everybody. HeatherLColeman.com. Until then, I am sending you so much love. I wish you so much peace, and namaste.